Hey guys, bit of a diary update for you. I've just been on a... It's going to be backwards, isn't it, I think? I've just been on a motorway speed awareness course because I was a naughty boy and broke the speed limit on the motorway. So I've just done that, and now I'm going to go home and get changed, get some uniform on, and I've got to go to Tewkesbury to look at a... What is it? It's a VTR1000 SP1 with some weird electrical problem. The guy, I think he said he'd had the fuel pump out and he'd changed the fuel filter, possibly, something like that. I'll have to look at the email. Anyway, the fuel pump doesn't prime now. Apparently the fuel pump relay is clicking on and off. There's something funky going on with the fuel pump, so I'm going to pop up and have a look at that. Thought it might be quite a good one to share with you. So anyway, I'll be back in a minute with a SP2. Right, okay guys, so I've just called home, called in at home, just to get changed and stuff. Normally with an electrical job like this, I try and do a little bit of research beforehand, just sort of study a wiring diagram, just to familiarise myself, so when I actually get to the job I'm not staring at a wiring diagram blankly for like 10 minutes, but I'm in a bit of a rush to get to this one. I'm a bit behind already today because of my stupid motorway speed awareness course. So all I've done is make sure that I have actually got a wiring diagram for this bike, so we'll just have to see. Let me see if I can pull up the email from this guy. I know the guy, I've done work for him for many years, so sort of the email was like a one paragraph, come and fix this. There wasn't much introductory stuff going on, if you see what I mean. Let's have a look at this email, see if I can find it. Right, you have to excuse me, there might be some when it changed frames then there might be some funky exposure issues going on. I'm just playing around with a new camera. Right, okay, so the email says hi Jim, can you book me in any time after next Wednesday to look at why my fuel pump isn't priming? I've hooked it up to a battery off the bike and it primes, but not when put back in situ. So you get an idea. This guy's got a bit of an idea what he knows what he's doing anyway, so it's not going to be obvious stuff. As I've explained before, the fuel cutout relay, this is weird. As I've explained before, the fuel cutout relay and bank angle sensor, when ignition turned on, click. Now I'm assuming he doesn't mean the bank angle sensor clicks because there's no relay inside that. It's just like a... Anyway, click continuously. Right, so they're clicking on and off with ignition on. That's a bit weird. When the starter is pressed, the starter relay just clicks. Now that suggests to me a flat battery. But then he goes on to say, took the positive cable off the starter relay and touched it to the positive coin on the battery and the bike cranks. But the pump just makes a knocking noise as if there's no fuel going through. Weird. Kind regards, stressed Eric. So we will go and have a look and see if we can fix it. Safety first. Here it is then, guys. With no clothes on already. We appear. Oh, so we've got a dashboard. Not attached. So it's alive. Got no fuel pump priming. Got nothing. Interesting. Oh, alarm system. Wonder if that's got something to do with it. Everything's plugged in by the looks of it. Relays are plugged in. Oh. He wasn't joking. Okay, that relay's going crazy. That relay's going crazy. Fuel pump going crazy. The fire light on. Right, what we need to do is familiarise ourselves with how this is wired before we go any further. So what I like to do, guys, with any job like this is familiarise myself with the systems, you know, how the fuel pump relay's wired, how that ties in with the stumble sensor or the tip over sensor, fuel pump relay, ignition switch, fuel pump, you know, how that's all tied together. Just get a sort of mental image of it in my head, and then that way when I'm looking at it I'm not backwards and forwards to the wiring diagram. So it's worth, it's not really how to obviously, but it's worth spending 10 minutes and just familiarising yourself with the wiring diagram and how it's all wired up. I think that's probably going to be a bit blown out and show you what I'm looking at. Right, so I don't want to bore the pants off you, but let me just explain my sort of way my brain works when I'm doing these things. So that's the European one, I think. Sorry, I need to speak up because I'm not close to my mic. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I will turn the gain up in the edit. So the way I work these things is, so we've got fuel pump relay and bank angle sensor relay going crazy and the fuel pump going crazy. So I would let's find injectors. Let's see a look. So right, so we've got, zoom in a bit so you can see. So we've got bank angle sensor here, fuel cut relay and bank angle sensor relay. So what I do in my brain is I try and work out how these things are wired. So if we start with the bank angle sensor, G, that's green, white and black, that's an ignition live. So red and orange goes to one side of the energizing coil on the bank angle sensor relay. So the bank angle sensor relay is switched with a ground from the bank angle sensor. So let's just follow the logic. Right, so it's switching a red and white to a black and white. Now I know red and white, just because I know, is constant battery feed. So that goes, oh my god, what did I just do? Right, so that red and white is, which goes to, sorry, this is probably boring as shit and I can't use a mouse. So where the hell's it? Right, okay, so we got a red and white, pardon me, or delivery has been delivered. Got a red and white, and so this relay, when it's on, when it's energized, it's weird when you start looking at these diagrams. You can follow the lines easily, and then the more you look at them, the harder it gets. I think your eyes get tired of it. Okay, BL changes to black and white. Test I'd be really stupid not to do to start with would be to let's just hold on a minute, let's go to scope. Can't really see that, can you guys? Volts DC. Just look at the battery voltage. Just be 100% certain that isn't something really funky going on with that. I'm sure there isn't, but because the dashboard's staying stable. But let's just check that out. Ow, that hurts my ears. Oh, I see. Wrong button. Okay. So that battery voltage is staying constant. If you see, there's 10 volts. Well, not 10 volts, but there's 10 volts, so it's, I don't know, whatever, at 12 point something. If I can keep the camera still. So what we can do with this is we can AC couple, what's it called, AC couple the signal. Interestingly, the alarm just beeped and that buzzing stopped. I think my initial initial suspicion for the alarm system might be true. So let me just show you something. If you AC couple a signal from an oscilloscope, rather than you sort of seeing the whole signal, you just see the AC component of it. So if there's noise in a DC signal, so if you've got an AC, how to put it? If you've got an AC signal as part of a DC signal, so the voltage is going up and down, even though it's all still DC, you can see the AC bit of the signal, you can zoom in on it. So if I AC couple this signal and then change my voltage base, so bring it right down to like, so the whole screen is 2 volts, and we make it do its funny vibratey thing again, we'll see how much noise there is in the battery voltage. Right, so see how that's leaping around, the time base is wrong. So if we go to and do that and do that and this is quite interesting actually. This could give you an indication of what's actually wrong. Now what I need to do is I need to trigger it to keep that still so we can actually see it. So if I put an auto trigger on, all he says, let's stop vibrating again, let's go on a minute. So let's bring my trigger point down, let's go and make it vibrate again. Right, let's bring my trigger down. He says, what am I doing? Right, so that, if this makes sense to you, if you can see that's a 2 volt scale, the vibration, that clicking we can hear, that's, you're visually seeing what that is. So something is turning on and off. So what we can do is we can make that signal bigger by going to this and making that a 500 millivolt scale, and then we can change the time base. Here we see the power of an oscilloscope. Let's change that, let's make it click again. It's definitely alarm related, this, because at the moment I disarm the alarm, the noise comes back. So there's the on-off bit of that signal. Kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent here, haven't we, with this diagnosis? All that time spent looking at the wiring diagram. If I just got my scope out and... so there's that on-off signal. That is a relay clicking on and off. Alarm related, methinks. See if the alarm's buzzing. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. Focus. If I put my ear to it, something funky going on in the alarm as well. So my initial gut feeling when I got here, hear that? Alarm beeps, buzzing stops. Investigate this, I think. I've got a horrible feeling that I might have fitted this alarm system at some point. Better check my diary, it serves me correctly. August 2014 I fitted this alarm, so it's out of warranty. Can I change the camera over while I'm filming? I don't know whether I can. It's a bit annoying. Wonder what all these wires are. They're spares for an accessory loop and stuff, but it's going to be well integrated into the wiring loom. Don't know what I'll do. I'll disconnect it here. I know the pinout diagram for it, so I can just effectively remove it without removing it, if you see what I mean, and we'll see whether the bike comes to life or not. So even though these alarms are held on with these security screws, if you get a really sharp screwdriver, you can get them to move. Which kind of defeats the object, but that's just the way they are. They've got those funny screws that will only do up and they're not supposed to undo. There's like a little ramp on the head of it to make the screwdriver slide off. But I've got a screwdriver that I sharpen on an oil stone to make it really sharp, and you can grip the screws. Trouble is, if you slip, you end up with a hole in your hand, which is never good. Plug out might be a different story. So, need a pinout diagram for that, and I'll bridge there's 4 wires. 2 of them immobilise the starter solenoid and 2 of them immobilise, it's going to be the feed from the ignition switch to that relay. I'm guessing I would have done it on. Anyway, let's go and look at a diagram, see if we can find that information. Right, so you're going to have to excuse the noise in the background. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm under a plastic roof and it's started to rain. So based on those details, pin 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, they're the immobilisation. Drop me wire. They're the immobilisation wires, so you know what, I'm not that happy with that. I'm going to get some stainless lock wire and do it that way. Just worried that they might short together, which would obviously be bad. Right, back with a couple of little bits of lock wire. I do have various different lengths of wire with little connectors soldered to them for this sort of stuff, but I haven't got any that are this size. So lock wire it is. Lock wire's a bit better because I can go in a slightly safer way. Right, let's see what happens. Negative. Put it away the right way. How bizarre. I wonder if I'm looking at the right information for this. So it turns out, I'm not sure you're getting this because I'm flying a bit blind here because my phone, which I use as a monitor, has gone flat. I had my jumpers in the wrong position. The ones I was looking at were for an M357, not an M357T V2, if you're interested. So now I've got those jumpers in. Dashboard. Anyway, you get the idea. So it's fixed. So turns out, get you down here, it's dodgy alarm system. What a nightmare. Been on there nearly 4 years. I've just noticed actually that let's get you up here. Sorry about the bad camera work, because I'm not saying this is the case, but it's obviously been shorting out of wires and things going on, so I'm not quite sure why it's failed, but it has. Anyway, that's the end of this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you. Right, I'm not even sure how this video is going to come out, because I'm handheld with my stabilised camera thing without my phone as a monitor, because it's gone flat, which is try and move you a bit. Maybe I'm in the middle there, which is why that last shot was maybe a little bit weird. Bit of a funny one, that. Never seen an alarm fail in that way. Suggests that maybe, because obviously the bike's been apart, he's been doing stuff. There was some bits of wire dangling off that stand. I think maybe it's been shorted out or something. It's difficult to say, but never seen one fail that way before. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. Not too much waffling. I'll try and do more of these vlog things. They just, you know, I think if I hadn't been filming that, I would have dived straight in. I'm probably not even sure I would have even looked at a wiring diagram, to be honest. I kind of wanted to show you the process I go through normally. I like to sort of familiarise myself. What I normally would have done is I would have done the familiarisation bit probably in the office on my PC there, just so it was fresh in my mind before I actually got to the job. But I just wanted to show you that process. I think if I hadn't been filming, I would have just dived in, and maybe my initial gut reaction, I think I might have even mentioned it when I was filming, was maybe the alarm system. Might have just dived in and got straight to that. I'm not sure really. Might have led me down the garden path a bit though, because I've never seen an alarm fail that way. Anyway, whatever for the guy. It's a minimum charge call out anyway, so it wouldn't have made any difference to the price of the job. Cool. See you on the other side.